Hello friends, myself Abdullah Kurban Sherikar, Assistant Professor, SVKM Institute of Pharmacy, Dhule, Maharashtra. Today we are going to study the concept of cell. After completion of the lectures, the learner can learn or he is able to understand the concept of cell or what is the cell. Second, organization of the cell and structure or the basic component of the cell. Now, before going to start, first question which is came in mind, that is, what is the cell? Cell is nothing but it is made up from the 200 atoms and molecules. They are combined togetherly and they form the word cell. As we know, the cell is the structural and functional unit of the cell, and which is a smallest in nature. Again, it is arrived from the cell word is coined or derived from the process of cell division, where the cell is divided into the identical two cells. And in human body or the human contains near about 100 trillion cells, which can live up to month or the years. Now the cell plays an important role in the homeostasis of the physiological functions of the body. Next, the cytology is a term, or the cell biology is an alternative term for the cytology, where the structure and the functions component of the cell they are going to study. So cytology or the cell biology is nothing but the structural and study of structural and functional aspect of the cell. Next, when group of cells, as we know that the cell is composed from the near about 200 atoms and molecules, and they are grouped they join together and form the cell. When the group of cells they are coming together, they form the term tissue, such as blood vessels or the mass of the bone. When the group of tissue they are coming together, they form the organs. Example, heart, brain, liver. And the near about different organs they are coming together and form the system, and the system plays a physiological functions or the control the physiological functions of the body. Now next point is the organization of the cell. How the cell is organized. Here the simple structure of the cell. Now the basic component or the basic two parts of the cells, one is the cytoplasm, which is a watery liquid, and second one is the nucleus. These are the two major part of the cell. The nucleus is separated by the membrane that is called as the nuclear membrane. Next, the cytoplasm is separated from the nucleus. Cytoplasm is separated by extracellular fluid or the other cells by membrane called as the plasma membrane, or the also called as the cell membrane. Various components which are present in the cell that are waters, that can be electrolytes or the ions, lipids, carbohydrates. They are embedded or they dissolve in the cell cytoplasm. They are called as the protoplasm. Near about 70 to 85% of the cell contains water liquid. Except fat cell, all cell contains near about 70 to 85% water. Second point, there are many electrolytes or the ions present in the cell. Third, protoplasm is the proteins, and fourth is the lipid and carbohydrates. First, water. As already I told that the principal fluid present in the cell is the water except fat cells, and the quantity or the percentage of water is present in the cell is the 70 to 85%. Second, ions. There are two types of ions are present in the cell. One is the major and another one is the minor. Major ions are, or the example of major ions are potassium, magnesium, phosphate, sulfate and bicarbonate. There are some minor quantity of ions are present, or the minor ions, that is the sodium, calcium and chloride. Proteins, they constitute about 10 to 20% of the cell mass. There are two types of proteins. One is the structural protein and another one is the functional proteins. Structural proteins are the nothing but the long polymer filaments, and they form the microtubules, that is the cytoskeleton of the cell organelles. Say example, cilia, axons, etc. Another one is the functional proteins. Principally they are enzymes, they are mobile or the movable in nature, and they carry the various intracellular chemical reactions. Example is the breakdown of the glucose, and from which the energy is generated. Third one is the lipids. Lipids are grouped in nature because principally they are soluble in the fats, that's why they are grouped in nature, and they plays an important role in the formation of the cell membrane or the plasma membrane. There are two types of lipids are present. One is the phospholipids and second one is the cholesterol. All together they constitute about 2% of the cell mass. There are neutral fats such as the triglycerides. Principally they are present in the fat cell. Here one point should be noted that the fat cell contains 95% of triglyceride, whereas the other cells, they contains near about 70 to 85% of water. Lipids are considered as the storehouse of the energy. And last, the protoplasm which is present in the cell is the carbohydrates. And there, except glycoproteins, all carbohydrates have a nutritional role, and they constitute about 1% of the total mass of the cell. Major carbohydrate which is present in the cell is the glucose, which is dissolved in the surrounding extracellular fluid. There are minor quantity of the carbohydrates such as glycogen is also present in the cell. Now the structure of the cell. The basic component or the parts of the cell is the plasma membrane. Plasma membrane, it is a flexible, thin and lipid bilayer, which is the outer surface. Means back to back two layers are present on the outer surface. Secondly, the role of plasma membrane is to separate the cell's internal environment from the external environment. Third role of the plasma membrane is act as a selective barrier. Means it permits the movement of the ions across the membrane. Next, the role of plasma membrane is to establish or maintain the appropriate environment within the cell. And last role of the plasma membrane, it plays an important role in the communication among the cells or the between the cells for the proper functioning of the cell. Second part of the cell is the cytoplasm. Cytoplasm has two components. One is the cytosol and another one is the embedded materials, that is the organelles. Cytosol, it is a fluid portion of the cytoplasm which contains water, dissolved solutes and suspended particles. Again, the cytosol contain different cell organelles, say example ribosomes, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex, etc. And third component of the cell, which is the nucleus. It is a largest organelle. Remember that nucleus is the largest organelle of the cell that houses most of the cell's DNA. And the nucleus contains thousands of hereditary units called as the genes. Now the first we will consider about the plasma membrane. Plasma membrane, as already I told, that it is a lipid bilayer. Two back-to-back layers are present and it is present outside the cell. The plasma membrane contains near about 75% of phospholipids. 75% of phospholipids, and it contains major inorganic ion, that is the phosphorus. Next is the constituent of the plasma membrane is the cholesterol, and it contains 20%. The plasma membrane contains 20% of cholesterol, which is a steroid, and it is attached to the plasma membrane with the help of its hydroxyl group. And last component of the plasma membrane is the glycolipids. They constitute about the 5%, and they are attached with the carbohydrate group to the cell membrane or the plasma membrane. Now the first we will consider about the phospholipids. The phospholipids are amphipathic in nature, means it contains both polar head and non-polar tail. Second, the polar head of the phospholipids contains phosphate group, and which is a hydrophilic or the water loving in nature. The non-polar part of the phospholipids have two long fatty acids, and it is a hydrophobic, that is water hating in nature, means lipid loving in nature. And the hydrophilic heads of the phospholipids are facing outward, means as it is a double layer, so upper layer also contains polar head, that is hydrophilic, and inside from the cytoplasm the polar heads is also present, means the polar head of the phospholipids is oriented as in such a manner that from the extracellular fluid the polar head is present, and from the cytoplasm, that is inside cell, it faces the polar head of the phospholipids. Here we can see that this is the structure of plasma membrane. Here we can see the polar head from the inside intracellularly, it is faces toward the cytoplasm, and from the extracellular fluid same the green blue circle indicates that polar head of the phospholipids, and which is present extracellularly. And in between these two polar heads there are long fatty acid chains. They are called as non-polar tails, and they are lipid soluble in nature. The water soluble or the water loving drugs or the components, they are enter into the cell from this polar head, whereas the lipid soluble drugs or the components, they are enter into the cell through this non-polar tail. Second component of the plasma membrane is the cholesterol. It is weak amphipathic, as that of that phospholipids are, as compared to phospholipids, the cholesterol has weak amphipathic, means it contains both polar heads as well as non-polar tails, but the intensity of this is less than that of the phospholipids. Second, the hydroxyl group of the cholesterol forms the polar head portion of the cholesterol, and this hydroxyl group form the hydrogen bond with the polar head of the phospholipids as well as glycolipids. And this polar group, that is hydroxyl, is a tiny group, whereas the steep steroid rings and the hydrocarbon portion of the cholesterol forms the non-polar tail of the, or the non-polar tail component of the cytoplasm, and they are attached to the fatty acid tail of the phospholipids and glycolipids. There is a concept that like seek likes, means the polar group of the cholesterol is attached with the polar group of the phospholipids. The non-polar group of the cholesterol attached with the non-polar portion of the phospholipids. Here we can see this is the tiny blue color, that is the hydroxyl group of cholesterol. It attached to the polar group of phospholipids, and the fatty, after yellow circle to the, there is a thread like structure, that is the steroid ring, which is attached to the phospholipid non-polar part of the phospholipids, or the fatty acid tail of the phospholipids. Third component of the plasma membrane is the glycolipids. The carbohydrate component of the glycolipids form the polar head, whereas the fatty acid component of the glycolipids form the non-polar tail. And one thing, it is very important to note that glycolipids are present on the extracellular fluid layer membrane. That's why the plasma membrane, with respect to glycolipids, it is asymmetric in nature. If you consider from the intracellular towards the cytoplasm, the glycolipids are absent, means the from the plasma membrane inside there are no glycolipids, from extracellular the glycolipids are present, means on either side of the glycolipids are present on only one side, that is extracellular fluid. That's why with respect to glycolipids, the plasma membrane of the cell is asymmetric in nature. You can see here the carbohydrate polar group, that is which is shown in the purple color, which is attached to the blue color of the phospholipids polar head, and the fatty acid chain, that is the non-polar portion. There are two types of glycoproteins. One is the integral proteins and another one is the peripheral glycoproteins. What are the role of integral proteins? The integral proteins can act as channels or the pores through which water soluble components they can travel across, or they transported across the plasma membrane. The integral proteins also function as a carrier proteins. If the drug is water hating or the lipid soluble, then the lipid soluble drugs can transported from the lipid bilayer of the plasma membrane. By doing this, the integral proteins they perform or they acts as a carrier proteins to transport the materials across the plasma membrane. Third one function is the integral protein, which is the active transport. Means here the drugs or the components they are transported against the concentration gradient across the plasma membrane with the help of energy generated from the ATP. The integral proteins also acts as enzymes. And last, the integral proteins acts as receptors. For example, for the hormones they are transported from the integral proteins. Now the peripheral proteins they principally acts as a enzyme only, and they control the transport process which is generated by the or the carried out by the integral proteins. Thank you.